Welcome to UnInfluenced. So today we're going to get into a little bit of fun stuff. Then we're going to talk a little bit of business friendship type stuff. And we're going to go cars right away. We're going to go cars right away because this came up. Where were we? Were we leaving? We were leaving a Porsche dealer and they had a Bronco.
Yeah.
And I was kind of looking at it, and then I got Mike's perspective. And this is why I love bouncing ideas off you when I'm looking at a car, is because I was like, say, man, that new Bronco. And you're like, no. And I was like, what? And then we get to talking about it, and I'm like, it's a lot like a Jeep. And then you started going over some pros and cons of what you thought. Granted, I haven't drove one. I'm not sure if you have yet, but all the reviews I've seen on the Bronco, they're all over the place. Some people love it. Some people are like, yeah, and then you open the engine bay and it looks like a fucking rat's nest in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'll Google that. But what's your thoughts on the Wrangler Bronco versus Wrangler?
What are the two key components for canine success? That's effective training and proper nutrition. Fueled by Team Dog brings those two components to your family and best friend. The perfect nutritional balance that results in a higher mental acuity, energy, overall vitality, and even an improved appearance. Every product you will find in my company's store was born from the battlefield and not from the boardroom. Let my life's work help you become your dog's hero.
So, for me, I'm not really a fan of either one. Kind of similar thoughts on the, or a same vein type perspective as I have on the, Jesus Christ, that is a rat's nest. It looks like it's taken apart, like it's in the middle of being installed or uninstalled. For me, it's another kind of one of those what's the point type vehicles. It seems very singularly focused in that, while yes, I don't doubt that it's very competent off-road, I don't like the way either of them look. I will say there was a recent road and track crash test evaluation on both of them, and the Bronco did way better than the Wrangler. But, I like I said, I don't really like either one of them. If I had to pick between the two, I'd probably still go with the Wrangler, like the CJ7 style, open top Jeep for rock crawling, something like that as a toy to fuck around with. But that's about it. I would never fucking daily drive one. I think both of them are kind of singularly purposed that way, where they're very niche or specific to one activity, and don't really make sense for a daily car. If I wanted something that was more daily driver type, I'd get a 4Runner.
Yeah.
4Runners are 1,000 times safer, 1,000 times more reliable, 1,000 times better resale value, proven fucking track record, and they're monstrously capable off-road, and you can do a lot of little things to them aftermarket-wise that don't cost a ton of money to make them really, really good, like camping, off-road, live out of your vehicle type vehicles. So yeah, I'm just not a fan of it, especially with it being a brand new kind of redesign and bringing an old model back into the market. There's probably going to be some recalls and bug fixes and shit like that need to be hammered out over the next couple of years. More than anything for me, I just think they look weird.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of those love it or hate it personal preference things. Some people are fucking head over heels in love with the way that it looks and love the kind of tip of the cap nod to the older style. For me, I just really don't like the way that it looks, but I think it looks cheap and like half designed. And it just doesn't do it for me, which I hate to say that because my second older brother in high school had a 78 green, like forest green Bronco that was restored and jacked up on like 37-inch tires, I think. And it was a fucking badass vehicle. I mean, it was really, really cool. To me, like, I think they kind of fumbled with that, and that, like, if you're going to bring that back, bring it all the way back. Either completely redesign it and have it look totally different, or make it look exactly like the old ones, and pull on the nostalgia heartstrings of people, to really bring something back that makes people excited about it. That's my take. I think they just kind of missed with it, but
Yeah. Have you ever seen an ugly chick driving a Wrangler?
not many. I mean, yeah, I have, but I think I know where you're going. There's usually hot, usually a chick driving a Wrangler is pretty hot, but I've seen some that were a little tomboyish to the extreme, to where I was like, I don't even know which
you're like,
fucking
hey,
side
mister.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, my bad, sir. Yeah, I only bring that up because saw a chick in a Bronco here, local, and it was a double take. Like, I'm driving and I was like, God damn, it's like shit. But they kind of do look unfinished, both of them. The interiors are still really dated. I would say they don't have power, but the the Wrangler actually stepped up and they put the 396 in it.
Yeah.
And their special order, and they're almost $100,000 right now. But
Yeah.
that would be kind of fun to drive.
Yeah, I guess.
But what's the wind noise?
Well, yeah, even with that, again, like, to me, that vehicle, there's only one reason I would buy it, and it's if I lived in an area or had a place in an area, whatever, owned property that had a very specific terrain to it that required a vehicle like that, where you're, driving in super deep fucking snow, mud, rock crawling, whatever. Like, that's the only reason I would have one of those. I would never have a vehicle like that and drive it day to day.
Yeah.
Like I said, the closest thing would be a 4Runner, and even then, I there's a reason I don't have one, and it's not because I can't have one; it's because I don't want one. Because I just, for that application, utility, off road, 4-wheel drive, towing capacity, pulling people out of ditches. To me, a truck is just a much better use of a platform that way than something that's like a miniature version of that, or an SUV on steroids. Like, it just doesn't make sense as a vehicle to me. But
yeah, it's definitely a different type of vehicle. 100%. Rohan, which one would you rather have?
Me personally, I would rather have a Wrangler. I feel like, obviously, it's Jeep's kind of flagship vehicle. Obviously, I do agree with Mike to where if I wanted a vehicle like that, I would probably get a truck like a Tundra. I really do like their TRD Pro.
Turd. You like
their
turd
Pro,
turd.
yeah. I also the Bronco Sport shouldn't be called a Bronco. I feel like they're doing that just to sell. Oh, it's a Bronco. It'll sell more.
Oh, for sure they are.
Yeah, I strongly dislike when car manufacturers bring back cars that don't like fit the name, like the Mark V Supra.
Yeah,
it looks like a good. I've never driven one. It looks like a really good car, but I don't think it lives up to the Supra name. Same with the Bronco. I don't think it lives up to that nostalgic Bronco name.
Same with the C8 Corvette. It's not really
exactly.
a Corvette.
It's not really a Corvette. It's a good car. Should have called it something different though.
Yeah. They should have took that Supra and made it a Lexus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or agreed. Same thing with, or for that matter, a BMW, since it's
it is a BMW
one anyway.
It's an M4.
I feel the same way about the electric Mustang. Like, don't call it a fucking Mustang.
No,
it's not.
that should have been something. They were doing that strictly to sell fucking cars.
Exactly.
Stupid.
Yeah.
The Mach-E, it's disgusting.
Yeah. You can mock these nuts.
That's right.
What's crazy is they came back with the Mach 1 Mustang, and to me, if I owned a Mach 1, then the Mach-E came out,
I'd be pissed.
I'd fucking go the old discount tire commercial, bitch throwing that fucking tire through the window.
I would key every one of them I saw. Mm-hmm. Every one of them.
Be just at truck stops keying cars.
I actually saw a Bronco being delivered on the way over here.
Did you?
Yeah.
To who?
No idea.
I mean, where did you see it being at a dealership or?
No, it was on the highway. It was actually like physically being delivered.
Oh, it was on an
flatbed.
18-wheeler going to a dealership.
Yeah.
How do you know that wasn't his?
It was just being towed. Well, I mean, it had no license plate and stuff.
This is what's wrong with America. You assume that truck driver can't afford that car.
No. It was on a flatbed truck.
He was probably white too, wasn't he? Racist bastard. So, I mean, that proves my point that a lot of bitches like Wranglers. Rohan likes Wranglers.
People with lots of estrogen tend to favor Wranglers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it did get horrible, horrendous fucking crash test reviews. The Wrangler did. But
Believe it or not, I've owned a Wrangler before.
really,
Yeah, because I don't buy many cars,
yeah,
and my Wrangler, I owned it, and no bullshit. I have a buddy who does rock crawling, does King of Hammers and all that stuff, and I'm listening to him because I don't know shit about Wrangler. So I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna do this lift, put 37s on it. What next? Oh man, you got to put this gear front and rear. I get that shit done. And I had to go from here, Dallas to Oklahoma City. I shit you not, it took 4 tanks of gas.
yeah, it's crazy.
And this will tell you how much I hate putting gas in vehicles. I listed that bitch for sale that following Monday.
Yeah,
Like, fuck that.
yeah,
I don't know what it is. I like getting snacks at gas stations. I hate getting gas.
yeah. I'm right there with you. Rest fucker shirt. If I get gas, I'm getting snacks. I don't give a fuck if it's the gas station 200 yards from my house. I'm going in there and getting something.
Yeah. Like my wife yesterday, trick fuck me. We go to QT. You want a drink? No, I'm good. She
You get
comes
one.
out with taquitos, all kinds of shit. Like, this bitch. And it looks at me. You want to buy it? No, go ahead. Eat them.
Yeah,
I get done doing what I'm doing, and she hands me this wad, and it's heavy. It's half-ass eating taquitos that she didn't even finish, and didn't like, hey, do you want these? No, she balls them bitches up, so now it's just a taquito mush.
yeah.
Like, this bitch.
Blame it on the pregnancy.
Yeah. I swear to God, whoever knocked her up sucks.
Yeah, yeah. There's
So-
probably something to that.
Yeah. So for those, we got another video coming out next week. Y'all have been asking for the TRX review. We're getting more and more into reviewing the cars, catching up on stuff. It's a lot of catch up. We got bikes to do. I did get the equipment in. The equipment we got sucked, so I ordered new equipment. So we'll start on bikes, I'm hoping, next week. So the TRX review will be out next Wednesday. It's going to be kind of long, in-depth, and an honest review. I don't want to get too much into the TRX while we're here, but it may be a farewell for the TRX. It may not. We may be doing more stuff to it. You'll have to watch the video and see. Let's go into this one. Weather and riding / driving.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so for a motorcycle or a fast car, for me, it's in the 40s. I will still go below 50 is where it will affect how I drive and ride or ride.
Yeah.
Below 40, I typically just won't go because and it's not even the coldness, especially driving. Like, who gives a fuck if it's cold? It's the traction.
Yeah.
Is that below 40, just with the tires I have on everything, whether it's cars, bikes, what have you, is that they just never get enough temperature in them to have enough grip for me to feel legitimately comfortable driving or riding how I want to do it. And so if I can't do it how I want to do it, I'd rather just not.
Yeah.
And like I said, in the 40 to 50 range, if it's sunny and not super windy, I'll still go and we'll play it a little safer, but largely, still enjoy it and ride how I normally would. But the colder it gets, the more likely it is that shit just isn't going to hook up with high performance street track tires, and so I just don't do it. But
The other day, we were planning on going to a meet. It was me, Mike, Clint, and we were going to meet up. The day before, we had drove the day before it. Yeah.
yeah, because that was the day it got all fucking sideways on me.
Yeah. So we talked about it, me and him. We had just drove the day before in cold, and we pretty much said, if it's cold and wet, we're not doing it tomorrow. It's just not safe. And Clint being Clint found out real quick that we weren't bullshitting him. And we didn't end up going to the meet. And a couple people were like, oh, man, why aren't y'all here? And I said, we have race tires. We all have race tires. No, you don't. The tires we put on our vehicles are the tires they use at the ring. They're the tires to get the best grip. And, of course, Mike started it. I seen the grip, not felt it, but I saw the grip his car was getting.
When it was warm,
Mind
you.
So I put them on my car when it started getting more power. And they are not safe to drive in those double conditions.
Yeah.
I would say warm and raining all day long. Just take it easy. But cold and raining, no, hell no.
Or even again, if it's below 40 degrees, then they're like, no matter how much you drive on them and spin them and whatever, they're just not going to get warm enough and stay warm enough to have the kind of grip you want at higher speeds, the way that you need them to handle, and it's just not worth fucking with, in my opinion. But.
Yeah, somewhere in this segment, I'm going to send Rohan a picture of the tires, standard tires versus what we have on our cars, and it's a significant difference. It may not look like it in pictures. It should to the trained eye, but there's a huge difference. Bikes, I'm a little bitch. If it's under 45, my ass ain't getting out in that shit. I think that's my cutoffs, around 45.
Yeah.
And it depends on the 45, honestly. If it's a cutting 45 with that humidity, the dampness we have here, it kind of sucks. But if it's just a dry 45, I'll ride in that. If the sun's out, I'll go play in that.
Yeah.
I like to ride like an idiot, and Mike's pushing my idiot button further and further. His confidence gets up, and my idiot level's like, there's so many times that I'm like, oh man, fuck this, I'm gonna pass him. Yeah. And then it's like, no, I ain't gonna do that. And because I know how it would go, it'd end up being us on a 2-lane road passing each other back and forth, and just be a good time. But Rohan, what's your unsafe temperature? Because I saw you pull up here the other day, and it was fucking cold. It
was all right. For me, because I'm still on the stock tires, I haven't been able to change them out. I'm going to ride those tires out for as long as I can. I rode the day to the meet when y'all didn't, and it was okay. I kind of wanted the experience and to exactly know how to ride in that type of weather, kind of that damp, rainy, cold days. Mm-hmm. And that was a good experience. I somewhat enjoyed it, actually, kind of being on top of my, being on my A game and kind of blocking everything out and just feeling how the bike is. But if it's below 40 or lower, and if it feels like 40 or lower, so like with wind chill or whatever, that's kind of my, like, I'm not going to ride. I'm just going to sit in my car.
Jerk off.
Yeah. Rub one out.
Yep.
I ain't mad at you. The motorcycle tires, both me and Mike he's riding a more high performance tire. I think you are right now than I am.
They're the super courses.
Yeah. And we've both rode in the wet on those.
Yeah.
And they're fine. Again, wet and cold. For one, my ass, if I see the weather, it's going to be wet and cold. The last thing I'm going to do, you know what, I'm going to go for a ride. Yeah. Fuck that.
I mean, the biggest thing for me when it's wet out that I don't like riding is that I just don't like how dirty the bike gets, because it gets in places where you almost can't fucking clean it, or can't clean it in some cases.
Yeah, it's like fucking a chick on a beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gets all in the fucking wrong spots.
Yeah.
But, I don't like getting it dirty as fuck. But
yeah. Rohan?
Yes, sir.
Did you clean your bike?
I did.
What do you use to clean your bike?
Man, I'm blanking on the name. It's a no.
I use my sock from under my pillow.
It scratches the fuck out of it, but I like it.
No, it's a it's like a specialized. You clean your glasses with it, and lenses and glass. Microfiber. Yeah, my mom bought like a 30-pack of microfiber cloths. So,
Mom,
for the
meatloaf. Fuck.
Oh, my mom bought me. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She does the laundry probably too, huh?
No, I do my own laundry.
You do your own laundry?
Yes,
you
I
don't
do.
want her touching your skivs?
What is this?
Streak-filled skivs.
Rohan,
God.
Is there chocolate in your dirty clothes?
Did I not teach you how to wipe your ass, boy?
Poor Rohan.
I was able to take my dad's Lexus out to a dinner because my car had a whole fuck ton of camera equipment in it, and I wouldn't get the.
What is it, a Lexus what?
I think it's a GS 350.
I mean, you think it's a GS 350. You live there.
I always get confused between the GS and the ES.
He lives there. He drove it. He doesn't know what it is.
Yeah. I help edit and produce a show that's, 50% of the time, all vehicles. I don't know what it is. It's a Lexus Yoda.
It's a GS 350. I was right.
All right.
Yep.
You just had to text him real quick.
No, I just
looked
Googled
at a
the picture. Yeah.
Yeah. I asked my mom. She's my go-to.
She's Johnny on the spot with those microfibers.
I can come over to your house, clean my shit.
Look, all I'm saying is if your mom's handy with the hot towel cleanup, that ain't a bad thing.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I love her.
Get Mrs. Rohan on the show.
Exactly.
Mama Rohan, I guess it'd be.
She's tough.
She's what?
She's really tough.
Good. Bring her on.
Yeah. I like to party.
You ought to hang out with her more often then.
Exactly.
Burn.
Have her punch you in the face. There's a lot of cool cars coming out 2022, 2023. The Raptor Type R is supposed to be coming out. Chevrolet is supposed to be announcing something that's a competitor to the Raptor / TRX. Everything I've seen on it, I honestly think Chevrolet and GMC should stay in their lane because their lane's working for them. They have the AT4, and I want to say it's like the RSTZ71. It's something fucking weird. Or the Goliath. It's something stupid Chevy's naming it. First, y'all need to fix your ugly ass front ends on your trucks. And then fix your interiors. Chevy I would say all of GM with their trucks fell behind the mark with their infotainment center that's smaller than an iPhone 13 now.
Yeah.
They need to step it up. But cars. We got any cool cars coming out this year? Not that we're buying, but coming out. I think the 296 is this year.
Yeah, I mean, it should be coming out this spring or, start arriving this spring. I haven't heard a whole lot 2022-wise. The Z06 C8 Corvette should be coming out, I think, this summer.
If that rides like that video, like it sounds in that video I sent you,
yeah,
I may change my tune about looking at one of those.
I'd for sure look at one. I want to see what the real world performance data is on it. The legit.
I don't want to see fanboy shit.
Yeah, I want to see like CarWow do their legit fucking his review, not the quarter mile and roll race. I mean, I do want to see that, but I wish that they would post the fucking times.
Yeah, I don't get why they haven't.
They post the time on the quarter mile, post the time on 60 to 130 or 100 to 200, which is typically the Euro version of that. To me, that's important fucking data. That's what I'm most curious of is 0 to 60 quarter mile and 60 to 130 on the new Z06, especially the 60 to 130. I mean, that's kind of my or our gold standard on how fast a fucking car is or not. Mm-hmm. My guess is that it's probably still, if it's sub 7, it's not going to be by much.
Yeah.
Which is still quick.
Yeah.
But
the problem is we're spoiled by shit that's faster than
pretty much everything stock, or almost everything. I mean, to me, like 6 is the cutoff. If it's, above 6, then I'm not interested. Like that's kind of the minimum standard for me speed wise is 6 seconds, 60 to 130. But yeah, especially on your performance weekend. Yeah,
fuck around car. Of course, dailies. We just went over that. The bitch sounds amazing.
Yeah, it does.
It reminds me of the 458, which it should, with the designer behind the Corvette. And all you haters or people that don't know, the guy who designed the 458 for Ferrari designed the new C8 Corvettes. And if you go look at the characteristics of the engine on the C8, it's what he wanted to do to the 488s and all that. And he rolled it over for Chevrolet and helped them with that engine. I think they did a smoking job with sound so far.
Yeah.
The interior, after watching more and more reviews, again, I haven't got to fully sit in one and enjoy it, but I've been watching a ton of muscle car reviews lately, especially even Clint getting the C7 ZR1. Been watching a lot of the Corvette stuff and the Mustangs and Challengers and all that. I wish they'd bring the fucking Viper back, a new redesign of the Viper. But the interior quality, a lot of guys from the exotic world are saying, it's not there.
Agreed.
But what's it not there compared to? Because to me, Ferrari is the pinnacle of interior when you're in the exotic world. Ferrari and Porsche, they're right there. They build just a fucking great interior package. Then you have, and I'll say it for those of you that love Lamborghini and McLaren's interior suck dick. They feel cheap. They're comfortable. I'll give it that. Like my McLaren, it's really comfortable, but they feel cheap. The electronics are behind. And to me, are you comparing it to a Ferrari or are you comparing it to the McLaren or Huracan?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to me, I think I haven't technically sat in one, but there's been several at some of the meets that we go to that were convertibles that you could lean over and really get a sense and feel for what the interior was. And to me, there's an element of almost like Matchbox kit car feel to it that just makes it feel cheap. Not like it's not put together decently. It's just that the qualities of the materials are not of a high quality standard, if that makes sense. You know, that's the thing that I notice on it, is that it doesn't give you a sense of like, wow, this is a nice fucking car. For that matter, a fucking Audi does. You know, you get in an Audi, like, this thing is fucking nice. Some of that Audi and Porsche and Volkswagen technology is going into some of the Lamborghinis, specifically the Urus, and, you know, new stuff that has a lot of the same stuff. So I think they're coming along, but I just the Corvette across the board, it just feels like a step down, you know. Which, let's be fair, is that, you know, that car is also less than half of what all of the other things that we're talking about also. So, but I do think that that's where you get into is it a supercar? Is it not? Is that does play a role? I think one category that should be included in the is it a supercar discussion is when you get in that fucking thing, sit in it and start it up. Does it feel like a sense of occasion? You know, and to me, if you're attaching the word super to a car, then it should. If it doesn't, then that's a big strike against it, you know, because you can take a fucking a station wagon, a 76 fucking Oldsmobile station wagon, and put a 900 wheel horsepower engine in it and make it faster than anything that any of us have ever driven. You know, it's still not really a supercar. I mean, at that point, it's a fucking drag racer, but so, you know, that is an important distinction, I think. And when you talk about GTRs or Supras or even M3s, M4s that are tricked out a little bit, is that I think that's a big distinction and qualifier for is it a supercar or not, is when you get in it, or you're like, holy fuck, there's a sense of occasion in doing so. I think it's way underrated.
Well, it's like the photo shoot we did the other day. You've had your car, I want to say almost a year now, if not a year.
Yeah, next month it'll be a year.
And we're taking photos of the cars, and we're there to do shirts and products for Violent Nomad. And I look over, because I was shooting some pictures from kind of third person view, and I look over, Mike's walking away, and twice I watched him, knowing nobody jumped in his shit and moved his shit. Nobody's near us in this garage, and he double checks his car like, that's my shit. And he just keeps walking. Yeah. That's when you know you bought the right fucking car. And I think I said it when I saw you do it the second time. I'm like, that's when you bought the right car.
Yeah. I mean, the fucking lighting in the parking garage that we were in was really cool. It made it look almost black. And it just, I was like, motherfucker, that's a good looking car. It's just, I mean, I love that thing.
I think, matter of fact, and I'm going to look through my phone right now if I have it, because Clint ain't going to get mad. Yeah, this is legitimately, so throw this up right here, Rohan. This is legitimately, this ain't a photo op, us trying to do anything.
Okay, look in that direction.
Yeah, lick your lips and look backwards. I mean, that was the first one. And then the second one, you were quite a bit of ways and you look back, and I'm like, he knows ain't nobody down here stealing that motherfucker. I'd have done shot him. But that's when you know you bought the right car. And it don't matter if it's a Ferrari, if it's a Ford Mustang, if it's a Lexus, if it's a Chevrolet pickup truck. If you're walking in the parking lot and whatever your dream vehicle is, I don't give a shit if it's $10,000 or $2 million. If you double take that motherfucker, if you go in your garage and make sure this ain't a dream, you bought the right fucking car.
Yeah, every time I go in the garage, I still look at that car and I'm blown away by it every fucking time I walk by it. You know? Yeah. And I've had it almost a year with about 10,000 miles almost put on it. You know, so it's for sure the right one.
Yeah, the Porsche it looks good, and I mean it'll get you some double takes here and there. It's a badass car. But that Ferrari it's a mecha car. I mean, and
it's a showstopper.
Yeah. You look back at it at the gas station. You know, the McLaren, when I had the orange one, I did that. When I got disgusted with it, I quit doing it. This one, I go in knowing I was buying this car just for the drivetrain. I didn't give a fuck about wind noise. I went into it with a whole different perspective of what I wanted out of this car.
Driving experience.
And I've fucking enjoyed every bit of it now. Now I look back, people fucking checking it out, and I'm like, fuck yeah. Kids the other day taking pictures of both the cars.
I mean, especially any car that the doors go up and not out. I mean,
people want to know what's fuck that is.
Like that in and of itself makes a car pretty fucking special because so few cars do that. I did see there's it's a prototype that's going to be, it's supposed to be made by Ferrari that has doors that go up.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember it's the name of a town in Italy, not far from where the factory is. I think it starts with an A. It's like a Bruglia or some shit like that. I saw there was a YouTube concept reveal video of it, but it looked like an actual real car. I mean, as good as they're getting with computer renditions and stuff, it's hard to even fucking tell anymore if it's a real car or CGI. But it was a neat looking car, unlike that new Daytona fucking thing that I think they fumbled on, but especially for $2.5 million.
Yeah.
But it looked really fucking sleek and sharp and classic Ferrari, just really eye-catching. Doors went up. No idea what engine it has in it or any of that, but it looked pretty neat.
Yeah, and I say about the cheaper side of cars too. The car my wife's actually getting rid of, which is damn near half the price of the one she has now. She's getting a cheaper car. It's still not a cheap car, but it's a cheaper car. And we're driving off from the lot, and it's not even finished from all the shit I want done to it before it leaves. And she's fucking looking through the windows at it, and I'm like, okay, we're making the right purchase.
Yeah.
Now she hasn't drove it yet. You know, a couple weeks in, she can be like, this bitch is slow.
Yeah.
Tough luck, motherfucker. You better fucking call an Uber or fucking rent some shit that's quick. Stay out of my 720.
Put a car seat in the back and deal with it.
Yeah. You just sit back there and shut your mouth. So let's get into, you want to do the standoff first or last?
Fuck, whatever.
I didn't study too much on it, but so my wife was super invested in it. So there was a standoff hostage situation at a synagogue, right?
Yeah.
In Colleyville, which is here. And
it's 15 minutes from my house.
Oh, hold on. I'm trying to look at where my give a fuck was. Yeah, it's not over here.
Trying to find where I asked what the fuck you think.
Yeah. So it's at a synagogue. My wife was kind of filling me in. She's big into seeing what's happening, and she's giving me play-by-plays of what's happening. And today I got to hear how they escaped. Did you hear how they escaped? The synagogue they don't have a preacher. It's like a rabbi or something.
Rabbi, yeah. It's like Jewish.
So that fool threw a fucking chair at the fucking dude.
Really?
And they all took off running.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, that dude is a fucking hero.
That's a man of the cloth right there, taking one for the team.
Yeah.
The thing that I found the most interesting on that whole thing is that there were 3 phases to the SWAT response. There was the local, the nearest SWAT basically that came in immediately, and then the Dallas division of the FBI's SWAT team came down, and then they ended up being the blocking force perimeter for it, and the fucking FBI's national HRT team, the hostage rescue out of fucking Virginia, flew here and actually did the fucking storming of it and killing them, which to me is actually a really big fucking deal. Like, they don't call those guys hardly ever. Mm-mm. You know, and for them to have that, you know, basically go through 3, from a protocol standpoint, 3 different platforms of SWAT response, and ultimately say, for whatever reason, that's what I'm the most curious of, is what were the particulars on the ground there where the Dallas division of the FBI's fucking SWAT team, either they decided it was too much for them and they couldn't handle it, or somebody did and said, no, you know what, we're gonna use the very best SWAT team that our entire country has on the domestic side. We're gonna use them to come unfuck this situation. You know, like,
yeah,
there has to, be a number of things that led them to do that. And I hope that they release what that decision-making process is. They probably won't because, and I don't blame them in that you don't want people to know what makes them call them versus not. But I did find that particularly interesting of all of it, because there's been a lot of little hostage, standoffs, or, people that get taken hostage, a couple of people or whatever. There's been some religious stuff here and there, what have you, but never have I seen that level of national response for one fucking guy,
Yeah.
So, I'm real.
So we didn't, we had that at the Waco thing, didn't we?
Yeah. The FBI came in and fucking killed 35 people or whatever it was. But
yeah, but the Dallas PD, DPD, last I heard, them and I think it was Los Angeles. Maybe it wasn't. There's a city in California. They were the top 2 normal city SWAT teams in the country.
probably.
And for them to overrule and the FBI just straight came in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anytime there's a situation like that, that's where the jurisdiction and kind of pissing contest comes in. But, federal always outweighs or trumps state always outweighs or trumps local. So again, I'd be curious as to who made that call, because somebody did, and for a very specific reason, because like I said, they do not use those guys haphazardly. So I'm real curious to see why they did that, but probably won't ever know.
So is that why they called him in? Because he wasn't from here, was he?
Yeah. So I mean, as it would turn out, he came from overseas, came through JFK International, listed a hotel in Queens as his address at customs. They're not sure if he actually stayed at that hotel or if he came straight here. Once he was here, he spent some time in a homeless shelter in Dallas, which I think, is irritating, taking advantage of the system's fucking soft side, I guess. And then, executed a terrorist attack on a local synagogue to try to get a terrorist or political prisoner released. So, maybe that's it, is that because he came from overseas to do it. I still, again, the thing that's a little puzzling, it's one guy. I know that they had negotiated and communicated with him many times throughout the day, as well as, I would imagine or assume that they knew that he didn't have like a suicide vest on or something like that. But again, it's with one guy, it's hard to imagine why they would send the balloon up, so to speak, on the national FBI HRT guys. But maybe we'll never know.
Yeah, it had to be a red flag that popped like
Something.
crazy, or he's tied to something that they really wanted to know about and tried to probably take him alive, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, they ended up coming in and killing him anyway, which, again, I'd love to see if and what they are willing to release after action-wise as to the full investigation of what went down and all that. But
yeah.
So I'm doing just some research. I've been researching it the past few days. So he's a British Pakistani citizen, and I knew that. But now it's the Dallas Morning News released an article that Great Britain released teens who were detained after the Colleyville situation. So I'm interested to know exactly, what happened overseas to where now this is somewhat of an international event rather than just here in the U.S.
so can you synopsize that or rephrase that again?
So this is the headline: Police in Great Britain release teens who were detained after the Colleyville hostage situation.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, I mean, I know that. So Malik Akram, who was the hostage taker, the terrorist, he's British Pakistani, so he must have been from Great Britain. And so police in Great Britain have released the teenagers who were detained after the Colleyville hostage situation.
Oh, I got you. So they detained them in connection with him once that happened, and then they released them?
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And they could have just been questioning them, trying to figure out his motives.
Yeah.
And making sure they weren't more than what the hell they thought.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm going to get into some deep shit right now. And we're going to take this in a couple different directions. Let's talk about trust, how to earn and keep trust. We're going to do this 3 different ways: business, friendship, significant other. So I'm going to wrap these three different topics I had into, if you could do it in one setting, what definition breaks it up? Because to me, there is somewhat of a difference. Now, you can have I have business trust where I have people I work with that I trust, because whether it be money, their history, or whatever. So I trust them in a business sense. Then there's business partner trust. Totally different to me.
Yeah.
Like a business partner, I trust you. I mean, we both know each other's past, as far as the shitty stuff we've been through and then the good shit we've been through. So I trust you, I've never, not once have we had anything that comes up over money. To me, you want to learn to trust somebody, and this goes business, friendship, and significant other. I'm going to say this ties into all 3 of those categories is money.
Yeah, throw money in there and you'll find out real quick.
Yeah, and I've told a bunch of people this. If you want to find out who your friends are, put a Ring camera up in your house, drop $100 bill, and throw a party. Invite all your fucking friends over. See how long that $100 bill sits in this little off area with a damn camera in front. It's the same with a business partner. If there's money involved and it's a profitable deal, are they going to hide that money from you, tell you about that money, share that money? And it's the same with your significant other. And again, friends, money, and they tell you this when you get married, money is a root to evil. Because shit, some people see money and they're like, I don't want my money. I want your money. I got mine. I'm going to need yours too.
Yeah.
And never once have we ever done that. If anything, I say me and you in a trusting situation, we're more back and forth on which one of us are going to get this fucking credit card to this waitress first, motherfucker. Yeah. And so what, if you can break it down, what's one thing that helps you in business?
So to me, I always, when I look at anything, I try to keep it as simple as possible. Mm-hmm. And to me, they're essentially all the same in principle. Where they differ is in order of magnitude. And so by that, I mean, is that the principle of, trust has to be earned to a certain extent. I mean, there's some people that, depending on the context of how you met them, there's inherently going to be more trust given to somebody, say that, if you say, hey, this is a good buddy of mine, blah, 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 like I'm naturally going to trust him more than I would somebody I just met at fucking Lowe's.
Yeah.
So the context around how you meet them obviously is going to play a role in how much trust you put in somebody to start with. But beyond that, I just look at it is that, every time there's a scenario where if I'm kind of blindly trusting somebody and they have the ability to fuck me over either without me knowing it or to do it and get away with it, and they don't do it, that's like one more, I hate to use the word social credit score, but it kind of is that. It's like one more notch in the belt of saying there's one more repetition of them proving that I can trust them.
Yeah.
And the more of those that there are, the more at ease I am and the less I'm going to pay attention to what that person is doing. And that's with everything. That's with my kids. That's with, a potential mate. It's with friends. It's with employees, it's with business associates, business partners, you name it. To me, I kind of look at it all the same that way, is that, the more interactions I have with somebody where they show that they're trustworthy, just builds and builds and builds on that foundation of trust. And if they break that trust, then, that knocks it back down quite a ways. It is a little double standard-ish in that it takes a lot of, examples of being able to trust somebody to build up to where you pretty much completely trust somebody. And one misstep on that can knock it all the fucking way back down. Mm-hmm. It's like fucking Jenga. Yeah. Or like building a house of cards. It's like, it takes 2,000 house of cards. It only takes one fuck up for the whole thing to crash. It is kind of that way, unfortunately, but that's human nature, and I will say, I mean, I'm typically more trusting maybe than I should be with a lot of people. But, to me, I don't want to go through life like constantly worrying about it for the most part. I mean, I have my moments just like anybody does.
Yeah.
But I do try, to give people the benefit of the doubt and not sit there and try to find an ulterior motive or some sort of, hidden agenda that somebody maybe has, or look for things.
Yeah.
Again, generally speaking, there are times where I absolutely do that, but I try to make a concerted effort to not be that way and really just, give people kind of the benefit of the doubt. And if they fuck me over, then, wash my hands of them and walk away. And even with that, there's been people who have broken my trust that get another chance. There's some people that don't. And again, that all depends on kind of the context, again, surrounding what happened and, why they did it and all that, and the severity of it and all that kind of stuff. But in the interest of just trying to keep it as simple as possible, again, I look at every one of those relationships kind of the same way. The only difference is what level of trust am I starting out with based on how I came to meet them.
Yeah.
But
I would say, for example, what Mike's talking about with trust, me and him are yin and yang. He trusts way more than I do. Motherfucker come up talking about, hey, man, can I clean y'all's car? I don't like that motherfucker. I don't know.
like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Mike's like, shit, how much? I'm kind of the same way, and lying is in that same level with me, which a lot of times, unless it's your kid or your wife, ties to money because someone will lie to you. So lying to me, I'd almost rather you steal $5 from me than fucking sit here and look me in the fucking face and lie to me. Yeah. It's still, I'd rather you never fucking steal from me, but lying is a huge problem with me.
I would say it's at least as bad.
Yeah, it's one thing. My daughter was spanked a few times as a child. Every time it was for lying.
Yeah.
Everything else I could explain out to why this wasn't a good thing, but lying to me, it just don't work. And trust it goes in with trust. If you want me to trust you as a person, especially as a child or business partner, don't fucking lie to me. Just be honest.
Yeah.
And let's go from there. And I get feelings, and some recent situations have happened, and I would say both of us are really good at a read, a vibe we get off people.
But and not to interrupt, I think maybe that's why I base a lot of it off of that vice. In anything else, or notwithstanding the building of trust thing, is that a lot of times I just get a feeling for somebody like, yeah, this fucking person seems like I can trust them, or I'm going to need to keep a closer eye on. Like, I feel like I have decent intuition with that, so I can kind of let my guard down and let my instincts help with that. I'm not always right, but I feel like looking back historically, most of the time I am, and so I think that gives me some confidence to play it a little different that way. But
yeah,
in thinking through that, but
you have training to read people, don't you? Kinda.
Not really. I mean, sort of, but I mean, not to the degree with which I think a lot of people assume. I mean, there's an element of that, but a lot of it is similarly like in the SEAL teams. Trust is obviously everything. Like you have to be able to trust, and by trust I mean implicitly with every fiber of your being. You have to be able to trust every motherfucker you're working with your life. Like you have to know that no matter what, that dude has your fucking back. And that's a neat thing to be a part of. I would also say that once you've had that, it's not so much training to identify that. It's that you know what that looks like because you've been through that with a lot of guys.
Yeah.
There is kind of a infamous and funny saying that I don't know if it actually stems from the movie Navy SEALs or if they got it from the SEAL teams when they were conducting research to make the movie.
Yeah.
But one of them is trust me with your life, not your money or your wife. And we always would fuck with each other that way and get kind of a chuckle out of that. But, I would say like it's a weird dynamic when you're in the SEAL teams with people. Like you can trust those dudes with everything while you're in. When you get out, guys starting their own businesses and competing professionally that way where there is money and livelihood on the line. Sometimes that can change, unfortunately. I have learned that the hard way, which I hate. I hate that that's the case. I hate to say that, but I have, But again, I will reiterate, like on active duty, when you're in uniform and where it counts overseas. I was never with somebody that we actually went to war with that I didn't trust 100%
Yeah.
Not a single person.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm the opposite. I've been screwed over so many times, and I think it's been such a bitter screw over, and it's usually people really close to me that did it, that it makes me, my circle's probably smaller than yours, because I keep very few people around me.
Yeah.
I have acquaintances.
Yeah.
People I trust and talk to about everything. They're very few.
Yeah.
I would
Same
say.
here.
I would say it's.
Yeah, I can count on one hand.
I could count on one hand and probably chop off a couple fingers and make it even easier.
No, yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I've got buddies I served with, and I'd say buddies. I've got a lot of buddies. I've got a handful of friends. You know, and and I mean, I'd rather have it that way, honestly. Like, I don't want a ton of people that fall into that category, because I think that it cheapens that relationship. If you've got 40 fucking, it's my best friend. Like, well, how many fucking best friends do you have?
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah, that's a word or a phrase I don't throw around. Best friend, and I think we've talked about it before too. The word brother. To me, there's your blood brothers, and then there's someone you see as shit. We should have been brothers. We're fucking close, and a lot of people throw that shit around too. So, and you're like, man, fuck you, because it's like, bitch, I don't know you. But then. You know what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, there's certainly guys that I call brother, and there's not a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then there's everybody else that's buddy or man or dude or whatever.
Or bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so I'm going to say this, business trust. Again, and this is, the reason I'm throwing this as business, personal, or business friendships and significant other is... If you go to invest in a business, right now everybody's trying to invest in things. People coming up, all that. They're trying to invest. We're doing electronic, Bitcoin shit now, crypto. We're doing stock markets, all this stuff. Businesses coming up just out of nowhere, and everybody emailing you, you want to invest, blah, blah, blah. If you look at somebody and they're looking you in the eyes or call you on the phone and say, hey, do you want me to invest? Show me your books. If that person tells you no, don't give them your fucking money.
Yeah.
Don't give them your money or your trust.
Yeah.
Because that's not a good fucking thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if we sat down right now and Mike said, hey, I want to invest in your company, show me your books. Okay, give me a couple days, because I'm going to have my CPA draw it up. I can show you, year-end statement right now for last year. But other than that, I'm going to get my CPA to give you the full rundown.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's the same way for you. And if I'm looking at somebody's books that I'm wanting to invest in, it ain't just me looking at it. I might glance at it and I'll be like, I'm going to send this to somebody smarter than me. I'm going to send it to my banker, my lawyer, and my CPA.
Yeah.
Is this worth investing in?
Yeah.
Unless it's somebody I know and trust, say me and you, it's different because we think of weird shit and start it up.
Yeah.
So we don't have any books except coloring at that point.
Or fuck books. We got fuck books.
We got fuck books. Now it's fuck digital.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Still call them.
So keep that in mind, guys. That to me is another thing. If that person don't trust you enough to show their books, don't trust them with your money.
Yeah.
So if you look, these keys are all going to come back to money. A lot of times, if you find your wife hiding money, chances are she's finna leave you, bro. Or it's Christmas money.
Yeah, well, I think the key with money is that it's the key that unlocks the door to greed. Mm-hmm. Is that it kind of reveals what somebody's character is, because there's a selfishness that can be attached to it.
Yeah.
And that's where people tend to lose their mind is once there's the more money involved, the more decimal points or zeros you add to anything, the higher percentage chance is that if somebody's going to fuck you over, that they're going to do that.
Oh yeah.
If it's in them, the higher the number that is involved, the higher the chance that they'll actually execute it. So it's unfortunate. I've never understood that, because I don't care how much it is. Is that one, on a principled level, it's just the wrong fucking thing to do. But two, even from a business sense standpoint, it doesn't make sense to fuck people over. You know, like that shit's going to come back to bite you one way or another.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's wrong in principle. It's even wrong in business principle.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do people still do it? You know, like it's like doing drugs. You know, it's just like there's no good reason behind doing it, yet here you are still doing it.
Well, it's the I guess a new term that I just found is FOMO, and my wife mentioned FOMO, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it's fear of missing out.
Yeah.
So me being a new business person,
I thought that was some new LGBT thing.
I thought it was like a soap. But so here's a great example, and I see you pull up, and this is, employees do this all the time. I see you pull up in a Ferrari or a Raptor, and I'm driving an S10. Well, I want that.
Yeah.
Not I want to get to your level. Not I want to, hey, man, can we go to lunch and you walk me through steps to get to this level you're sitting at now?
Yeah, I just want it.
And fuck these steps.
Yeah.
I'm going to just take whatever he has laying around, and I'm going to see if it gets me to this level.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to get mad and leave.
Mm-hmm.
And people just want that. It's entitlement. They want that shit, so they'll take whatever's laying around. Fuck, they'll do it with a gun, anything they can pawn and make money off of.
Yeah.
You know, fuck, I left a 12 gauge laying around. Someone takes it. What are they going to do with it? Rob a store, fucking pawn it? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
To me, am I brokenhearted? No, I'll just go buy another one. Whoever was in here when that motherfucker came up missing, I don't trust 5 of you motherfuckers right now till I figure out who the fuck did it.
Yeah.
You know, and that it comes down to everybody just wants what that person has now instead of teach me.
Yeah.
You know, don't.
Yeah, it's the Amazon Prime mentality. Everybody wants shit right fucking now. You know?
Teach me. Yeah. And nobody wants to learn anymore. They just want to take. And it's huge in the business world. People are take. And some of them, there's no giving it back. You know, I'm taking money from this investor, taking money from this person, taking money from this person. What am I investing in? Myself.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all. It ain't going into the company.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. I would say out of everything we do, it's rare you ever see either of us worry about money back and forth.
Yeah, never.
Yeah. And it's the same with my wife. I'm sure it's the same with you. It's if I can't trust you around money, or hey, go snag this or whatever, and you're sitting there, you know, hell, I can't think of how many times one of us has went and bought equipment or something for the studio and not even worried about, hey man, that was $100. You owe me 50. You know, oh shit, I use gas, so it's 60. You owe me $60.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We don't do that shit, you know?
Yeah.
And that's when you know you can trust a motherfucker, you know, is when it's not you owe me and I trust you. So trust is break your trust down into who you can leave your money around in business, significant other, friendships. Because if you can't trust that motherfucker with your money, kind of like Mike was saying, you probably don't want to trust that motherfucker around your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they're willing to steal from you, then they're probably willing to do anything if the wind is just right.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And so trust is a key component in most of your friendships, your business, and everything. And then your gut feelings. Every time I've done something fucked up, like I wrecked my motorcycle, that day I had a fucked up gut feeling. I shouldn't go on this ride. What'd I do? I went on the ride, but I wore my helmet, my leathers, and everything else. Luckily, I put that shit on or I'd be dead. Same with the day I wrecked the R8. Something inside me was like, man, this just don't feel right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't go today. But I went. Knowing the day before, I just did a test drive with people at Porsche, and they're like, bro, you need to take this in for service.
Yeah.
I still went because I wanted to hang out with my friends. I didn't want to miss nothing.
Yeah.
So my FOMO moments got me to wreck a motorcycle and a car.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And it's the same when you get into all kinds of shit. You got to trust your gut, especially with business.
Yeah.
Buying cars, business, dogs, chicks. You know, if you're like, that bitch stunk when she pulled her panties down, I'm a fucker.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you might want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, trust in your gut. Again, it's trust.
Yeah.
You got to trust your gut feeling.
Yeah, and to me, there's one key element to all of that. I think that's worth noting, which is don't let that make you be so gun shy that you miss out on opportunities. Some of the best couple $100 spent is getting fucked over and learning that person shouldn't be in your life. So don't be afraid to. And I'm not saying go try to trick fuck people and leave money laying around and like try to see if they'll fucking steal from you. But don't not take opportunities because you're worried about, well, what if, this happened, whatever. Like, find out who's worth trusting or not by just doing what you're going to do. And if you learn the hard way, then, I look at that as that money taught you an important lesson, so.
Well, two things. I haven't been involved in something really negative, but my significant other at the time was. And there's two things to take from that. I learned a valuable lesson about money from that. And I kind of just had a friend go through almost the same situation. And I was laying in bed as I do. Oddly enough, I think of weird shit late at night when I can't fucking sleep. And I'm sitting there thinking, all that shit I lost or they lost, at the end of the day, there's something gained from that. It's memories of what you may have done with your kids during that time.
Yeah.
You learn valuable lessons about business. You learn valuable lessons about your money. And again, that word trust. But I couldn't probably pay to get any of that stuff back. The memories and the life lessons. Yeah. While it was an expensive life lesson, it got me to this point I'm at now.
Yeah.
And some people that know about the situation I'm talking about with me are like, well, what'd you do? Well, I didn't fucking give up. Mm-hmm. The beauty of what I did is I tasted this life. It didn't make me when I lost it all, it didn't make me come back and be like, God damn, it's over. No, it made me, fuck that. I want to work hard to get there myself.
Yeah.
I want to figure out all this shit and take all the bad that happened to get there here.
Yeah.
Never do that shit again and go do it the right way.
Yep.
And that's where we're at now. And again, it taught me lessons, like you said, of sometimes you lose a little bit, but you learn a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, even if it's an expensive lesson, it's probably worth the investment in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because who's to say that if you ignore that lesson you're learning,
it's going to be a bigger mistake later.
Yeah. The next time it's worse. And every business person, I would say, well, most business people have failed at some point.
Yeah, I don't know a single one that hasn't.
Yeah,
multiple times.
Yeah, and it's part of it. It's part of the game.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind in business. You want to get to these tiers, you're going to fall. If you're trying to get to this tier, you might fall 3 to get back up to it and fall 3 more.
Yeah.
You got to keep building. So the key word here, guys, is trust. Guys and gals, trust. It's very important.
Amen.
And don't trust business with your money. Should be a rap song.
It's the follow-on to Boats and Hoes.
Boats and Hoes. What was that song you made me listen to the other day?
Fuck, I don't know.
But it was a good one. That shit was cool. Yeah. So trust. You got anything, Zohan?
To add on to that, or just in general?
Just in general. We know you don't know shit about business.
Gee, thanks. I'm trying to think. I had some more car stuff, but I guess that'll wait until next time if you want to wrap it up.
Hey, on your phone, there's this thing called notes, and you can make them notes.
Well, how about this? Run down the bullet point list of those things, and we'll decide whether or not it's next time. All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Producer.
Yeah. Producer.
Producer.
It was just Chevy's repealing they're taking back the Camaro. So I want to get your thoughts on what might come in placement of that in their lineup.
Hopefully nothing.
Do you really not like the Camaro?
There's certain aspects of the Camaro. To me, when all these guys brought the muscle cars back and they put a V6 or a 4-cylinder in it, they fucked up the name of those cars. And some people will say, well, back in the day, Mustangs had a V6 in them, or they had an inline. That was back in the day. And how many of those bitches got bought by somebody else that put a V8 in it?
You dig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they fucked the Mustang, Camaro, Charger, Challenger. I think America fucked up trying to get into that niche market instead of going after their core and of people who want those cars.
Yeah.
What's next?
So when it comes to, and this is back on the whole trust thing. So say, you're with, X person, your significant other, you're with her or him, not going to judge you guys. Say, how do I phrase this? Say you say, hey, you know what? I kind of need to stop spending so much time with you. Just, I love that, but we're spending a lot of time together. I kind of want to focus on other things, like, it's like working and building a better future. Kind of what I had in mind.
This is a guy saying this to you?
No. What?
What are you talking about?
So say, Josh is dating Brittany, or some, X is dating Y, whatever. And someone says, whichever person says, hey, I need to kind of take more time to either work or better myself in some way.
Yeah.
And spend kind of more time away. And then the other person goes off and does something that breaks or violates your trust.
Well, I mean, to me, you would need to clarify, like, I'll just put myself in the hypothetical. Like, let's say I'm dating somebody and they tell me that, right? So you're saying in that case, then I go and do something, or they go and do something?
No, you go and do something like fucked up.
Well, I mean, so I would say, what is it that's fucked up? And that, that's why when you have that conversation, you should clarify, are we breaking up, or are we just fucking taking some space? Because that's going to dictate whether or not what you do matters past that. Is it like shit or get off the pot? Either we're staying together and you're in it to win it, or you need some space and we're fucking breaking up. Because to me, if a chick told me, hey, I need to take some time, I need to focus on me, to me, I'm going to take that as a fucking green light of saying, we're hitting the pause button and now I'm not checking in with you on anything. I can go do whatever the fuck I want. Mm-hmm. And to me, like, unless you're in a serious, committed, long-term relationship or married, then those two situations are going to kind of null and void you from doing that. Anything outside of that, you're not fucking married. You're not in a committed relationship. Go do whatever the fuck you want. But especially if somebody says, hey, I need some space, I'm going to take that as I'm going to go do whatever the fuck I want. That's how I'm going to take that.
Clearly, you haven't watched Ross and Rachel.
I have. I watched Friends like 3 times. I love that show.
Yeah, watch it a fourth, I guess.
Yeah, because that right there, every guy that hears we're on a break, bitch.
Yeah.
You just opened this fucking wallet with a condom in it.
Yeah, I need to spend some time on me. Cool, I'm going to spend some time on me also with somebody else.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. Kind of where I was coming from was more of the, I had told a girl, and we were in somewhat of a, whatever you call a high school long-term relationship. Looking back on it, it was kind of stupid to think that, but, I kind of had I feel like I'm a very driven person. I want to be somewhere in life. I have a goal for myself and a vision for myself. But, when we started spending 3+ more hours together outside of school, I realized that shit, I need to kind of maybe hang out with her for 1.5, but also then go try to seek for clients and stuff that I can build that future on in the meantime. And then in that, where I was trying to do more work and make more connections.
So she went and banged somebody else and it hurt your feelings.
Yeah. Hurt my feelings quite a bit.
I mean, don't take this the wrong way. This is just Uncle Mike's tough love. You fucking deserve it. You told her that you needed a break, and she said, Roger that. I'm going to go find some magic stick somewhere else then. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, like, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Like, if you expect commitment from a chick, well, guess what? Then you better be committed to her. And being committed to her means you got to put the fucking time in. Yep. If you're not going to put the time in and be like, hey, I need to focus on my own shit, she's going to say, all right, I'll go find it somewhere else then. And vice versa.
Gotcha.
To me, and this is going to come off as fucked up, but someone who raised a kid, man, y'all ain't got no goddamn long-term relationships in high school.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's what I was saying. I mean, in hindsight, it was fucking stupid.
Everybody, even me, you get a girlfriend in junior high school, and all this shit. You're like, oh, man, I loved her. Man, put in perspective, that's 18 years of your life, and it's really not even 18 years. It's 12 to 13 years of your life. You're in that.
Yeah, agreed. I will say this in defense of the young, dumb, full of cum idiots in love is that they don't have anything to compare it to. they're not at 40 looking back on it, and it's all kind of relative. It's to them, it's a big deal. It's obviously a big enough deal to where it still bothers you enough to ask about it.
Yeah.
So
No, I was just curious on the whole trust thing.
Huh?
I was just curious to get your all's perspective.
Yeah,
on,
I mean,
on
to me,
but
she didn't break your trust. You gave her the green light to go do whatever the fuck she wants when you tell her you want a break and need space, and you're going to focus on your own shit.
We didn't do that. I need a break shit.
No, it's just you're
like,
either fucking dating somebody or you're not.
Yeah. Or dating 3 people and 2 of them don't know.
I never. My high school days were pretty fucking benign that way, but
see, my brothers made me a male whore.
Yeah. They made me do it.
They made me do it.
I had no choice.
Yeah. I was finger blasting chicks at a young age. Yeah, I mean, you can't tell a chick you want a break and then expect her not to go fucking get under a motherfucker.
Yep. Or on top. Maybe he's the power bottom. I don't know with you kids these days.
Let me play devil's advocate for the female side. What if she was riding reverse cowgirl, never looked at the dude, and just was thinking of Rohan?
Yeah. Maybe that was her idea of space.
Yeah. Like, I didn't look him in the eyes. It wasn't love. It wasn't cheating.
I mean,
was no different than a sex toy.
Maybe she was FaceTiming you and you didn't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Doesn't say much for him.
Yeah, exactly.
You get what we're saying.
Yeah, I mean, well, one of the times I was golfing with her father, but I guess that's different.
I mean, so here I'm going to take her side on this one. If you got time to golf with her dad, you got time to do some shit with her.
Yep.
Plain and simple. Like that's a priority issue.
Yeah. I never.
No, I mean,
even to date, I've never been like golfer pussy.
Yeah, I mean, here's the reality: is that I don't give a shit what the circumstance is. If you're prioritizing or choosing to hang out with her dad over her, it's already gone.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
you got a nice
that's
friend.
no shit. Yeah, like however you want to look at it is that there is never a fucking instance where I'd rather hang out with a chick's dad than her. Never. And if that's the case, she's not the right one.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Matter of fact, that's how my ex was. I'd rather hang out with her dad.
I mean, that's if that's the case, then you need to move the fuck on.
Yeah.
And stop hanging out with her dad.
Yeah. If you, I can't think of a time right now to where I told my wife, you know what? What's your dad doing? You want to golf? And she's sitting there butt ass naked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care how cool any father-in-law or whatever father of a chick you're fucking involved with is. Like, there should never be a time where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna take a break with her, but I'm still gonna hang out with her dad. Like, that's 12 shades of fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. And on top of that, the chick could have been doggy style, so she was thinking about you while dude was doing what he was doing.
Yep.
You need to call her and apologize because you're an asshole. What else you got, bullet point?
Yeah. He's like, nothing. I ain't bringing shit up else again.
Actually, I have one more thing, and that's it.
Do you think
we
that
talked
dude wore
about
a condom?
So we talked about the hostage situation, and Afia Siddiqui, and we had Jason on a few episodes ago, talking about prison and kind of the American judicial system. I know that Mike brought up kind of drugs and how I just want to talk about the war on drugs.
Yeah.
And that whole.
That's definitely another show.
Yeah. But kind of just preliminary thoughts. My friend asked me, what are your thoughts on the war on drugs? And I said, we should go harder at it. And my buddy said, no, we need to separate nonviolent offenders and violent offenders. And so, if you're a crack addict, you go to rehab. And one thing I told him, and kind of Jason alluded to this, is that if you're on crack, I'm not going to wait for you to rob a place and kill someone. I just want you off the streets. Kind of, what are your thoughts on that with, Gen Z thinking a certain way that, rehabilitation is what's next. And I remember asking Jason this, rehabilitation versus incarceration. He, as a former prisoner, said incarceration.
Yeah. I mean, you broke a law. The law is the law. I don't care which law you broke. You deserve to take your ass in there. There's rehab in jail. Mm-hmm. But I don't care what you did. Your ass broke a law. It's like these people talking about, weed's legalized in Vegas now. Everybody should be let out.
Yeah.
No, bitch, they broke a law when it was a law to not break that law. Yeah. Could we lessen their sentence a little? Possibly. But what'd they do while they were in jail?
So we're not taking this into the next show, I guess.
I say we take it in the next show because this could go on for a
Yeah,
minute.
I mean, I'd say couch it for the next show.
Okay.
I will just say this as a teaser, as a cliffhanger, is that my views may surprise some people on what I think about that. But that's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah.
And you can find out next time.
Yeah. On mic drop. Peace. No, everybody check us out on all the podcast forums.
We do have a new mic drop coming out this Friday.
Yep. Friday, Sunday. Okay. Peace. Give us a like. Bye, bitch.